Okay, welcome back again to this tutorial. We are doing Microsoft database. This is our second lesson. We had the basics at the start. We saw how we can create a table. Now there are some questions I want us to go through, and we see how we can build on what we have. Now this is the table that we are dealing with for the start. We saw how we can design it, how we can put in different fields and their respective records. So this is what we have as per now. This is the table we are going to use. Now we are going to go through. Now for Roman numeral 1, we shall create this table with appropriate data types. Just a reminder, when you look at this registration number, you can use auto number as a data type, or you can even go ahead and use number because they are numbers. You look at them as they are integers. Then when you look at the names, these are text, short. Then when you look at class, this is a combination of alphabetical letters and numbers. So here we can either use text, we can even use memo. Age, we have number. House, we are seeing text. So Roman numeral 1 is going to, this is okay, we did it last time. Then enter the data above in the table created using a data sheet. Now I'm not going to type in this table. I'm going to just copy this table and transfer it to Excel, then I import it. So I'm going to just highlight this table, then I do copy. I'm going to copy the entire table. Then after copying the entire table, I'm going to put it in Excel. Then after putting it in Excel, I can easily import it to Microsoft database. What I'm avoiding is typing this table as it is again. So this is what I've copied. I can try to resize from here if it is necessary. Yeah, then I'm going to save. Let me save it as lesson 2. Then let me put it on the desktop such that I find it easily. Save. So this is the table. Now I'm going to go ahead and open my Microsoft Access or Microsoft database such that I can start doing these questions that are following the table. Like I said, you can put blank. If you tap once, they'll ask you to put the appropriate name. Let me just say we are doing lesson 2, and I create. Do you want to replace? Yeah, I had put one before it. Now this is what we have. Like I said, I'm not going to go back to this thing of design view, then save. Do you want to save? Yes, then start afresh. What I'm avoiding is typing in the field names. These field names of registration number, names, class. I'm going to avoid that. I'm going to just import just because of time. So what I'm going to do, I can close off this and actually delete this table because I don't need it. Now you see the option of deleting is active here because I've closed the table, but if the table is open, you cannot delete it. So that's a note you should have. When you try, they say you can't delete database object table 1 while it is open. So that's another hint you should know about database. First close, then you are in position to delete it successfully. Do you want? Now it has disappeared. So what we are interested in, external data. And this external data, let me close this. Let me create something else. Database. Blank. Let me still call it lesson 2. Lesson 2 create. I will replace the other previous one. Yes. Actually, I needed this table. So when I have this table with me, I can right click on it, then I import. I'm importing from Excel our file. we put it on the desktop, so I look for the directory leading to the desktop. This is the desktop. Then I called it lesson 2, so it is this. You see it has come desktop lesson 2, that is its path. Then the rest I can leave them as default and say okay. Then I can just finish at this particular point. Yes, close. So it has appeared here, and this is what I have. When I go to its design view, maybe I can edit something from there. Now by default there is this ID field name. We don't have it in our table. In our original table we don't have the ID, so it is very easy to remove that ID by simply first of all removing the primary key, because if you have a primary key here, it might become a burden to us. So first click here, then activate the primary key. You see the key shifted from here to here. Then you can right click here and delete the row. Yes, do you want to delete? Yes, such that we have it as registration number. Now we have the data type is number, name is text of course, class short text because we saw it is a mixture of S4, S3, then age is number, house is short text. Okay, so this is what we have. Now also we cannot rename it at this particular point. This one is now useless like I told you. So what we are going to do is I can open this, close it, since I don't need it, it has even disappeared. So this is what I have. I can close it also. Then do you want to save? Yes. Then I can be in position to make any edit that I want, that is to rename, let me call it my table. Let me call it my table. Let me leave it as table. Then when you open the table, I think it is similar to what we have in our Microsoft Excel, that it is the same table we have. So I've skipped the challenge of typing everything. Now we are going to go to the Roman numeral 2 is done. Enter the data above. The data is as it is appearing there. Then create a query to show members with names beginning with the letter B. So if they want us to create a query, so we go to create, then they're talking of a query. We shall, most of the design we use, we shall start with design. For example, table design, that's why you saw me going to the design view. I can be in position to see everything. That is a design view. Then if it is to be the query, we shall use query design. Then form, we shall use form design most of the times, but there are some instances whereby we shall go in for wizard, or I will be telling you in my coming videos. Then for the form, still we have wizard and we also have design. Report, we have design, we also have wizard. According to how the question will be set, we shall use them appropriately, but for now let us go with the design. So we are creating a query design. You tap on it, then since we are having only one table, we press add, then close. Then we can double left click. This one here is telling us that this is where the primary key is. Double click on names. If double clicking is hard for you, you can left click and hold, then you drag, drop it to where you want it to be. So age, drag to where you want it to be, then house, something. The question is telling us to create a query to show members with names beginning with B. So we are going to look for where the name is. So this is the field name for name is names. So the field name where our instruction is for names. So you look for this word criteria. Criteria is like an instruction. It's like a command that you're giving. So under names, they are telling us starting with B. So this implies that we shall say B star. So B star means where you see the star, it means that that's where the next values are. So if I say B star, it means that where the star is, the other values before it. So meaning B will be the first letter. I'll explain that more. So we can first run and see if at all the names we are having are starting with B. So we have Lenga and Kenya. If you have to check in our original table, there are only two. This is Bulenya and Bukenya that are having letter B as the starting letter. So that makes our work very valid. What we have to do is save it now. We have to save our table, because remember I just ran it without saving. We have to save our query, so I can right click here and save. Most of the times the question can require you to save it as a particular name. Create a query with names beginning with B, but they didn't tell us to save, so I can just say query, then B, starting with B. Yeah. Now I want to check out and see if database is case sensitive. By case sensitive I mean if it can be affected by whether caps lock have been put or not. Now in our original table we see that B is capital, so let me see if at all I create a query design. I want to see if it is really sensitive to cases, so I can, let me just use these three. So under names I'm testing for gender sensitivity, sorry, no, not gender, I'm testing for case sensitivity. So here if I put small b and a star, I want to see if when I run it will give us what we require. So database is not case sensitive, it gives us. So that's some good thing to really find out. So this, we are closing it because we don't need it. We already have our query with those starting with B. And if you want to see what this person used, you can right click and go to the design view and you see. Now these like full colons, B star, those ones the computer will type them for you. For your role is just put B star. Okay, I think that is good. We can go to the second bit of the question. Create a query to show Mutesa and Simba house members. So we want only Mutesa and Simba. Let us see how we can get them. Still they are talking of a query, then we go to query design. Yeah, then we are going to add a table, and after adding we close. Then registration number, names, I'm double left clicking age, house. Now criteria we have, they're talking of Mutesa, since the cases are not affecting us. So here I put criteria Mutesa or Simba. Now we should be very keen with the spelling. You put a wrong spelling, they will ask you for the parameter value. I hope the spelling of Simba is that and Mutesa is that. So when we run, we are having Mutesa, Simba, Mutesa. Now what will happen if at all we make a mistake? Let us go to the design view of our query, and maybe we misspelled Mutesa and we put a single E, and we happen to run. They will not bring anyone from Mutesa because you have put in a wrong spelling. So you have to be very, very keen as you're putting in the spellings. So when you go back to the design view, put the right spelling, Mutesa, criteria Mutesa or Simba, then when we run, there they are. So what we need is to save. I can save my query as Mutesa and let me say Mutesa Simba. Those are the houses. So here it is, that is my query. Remember the table is what we started with, it has everything. Then it is reducing to Mutesa Simba, query B. Let us see what the other part has for us. Create a query for students whose age ranges from 12 to 16. 12 to 16, so they are talking of age. Still we create a query design, add, then after adding you close. They are talking of age, so now the instruction of the criteria is going to be in the field name of age. So age, they are saying between, they said between 12 and 16. That's why we put appropriate data types, is because 12 and 16 are already numbers and they are known. So when I run, you'll see they bring for me, this is between 12 and 16, having 12, 13, 14, 16. So it has taken those of 12 and 16 inclusive. But in case you don't need them, just go to the design view. This is like the manufacturing site. If you say you don't want the 12 there, make it 13, and if you don't want 16 there, make it 15. And when you run, it will automatically bring those of between 12 and 16, excluding, because if they say between, it means that 12 and 16 are not wanted. So at the end of it all, you can save, right click and save 12, 16. So after saving, it comes automatically. I hope we are progressing well. Then the next one is create a query to show names that end with A. This one was starting with B, this is ending with A. Still, we go back to our database. Today we are doing a lot of queries, so let us create a query. Query design. I hope now you know what to do. Add, then close, registration number, names, class, age. Now putting these field names might depend on the question. In case they tell you to create for only registration number, names and age, don't add the rest. So here the question is asking us to create names that are ending with A. So they are talking of names ending with A. Still we go names here, then the criteria is going to be, now I said where the star is, the side where the star is, that's where those values are. So if I want A to be the last one, it means that I put a star first, then A last, meaning that A is the last value. Then when I run, all the names that are going to appear will be ending with the letter A. So when I'm done, I can save it as ending. This is ending ending with the letter A. Then I can save. I hope we are progressing well. Then create a report. Now they are bringing in a report. Create a report that shows the following fields: name, class and house. So here they are specific, but now we are going to report. It is not a query. We have done 4 queries, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are going in for a report. Let us do a report and see. But we are putting only names, class and house. So we go and look for a report, create. Where do we have a report? Let us use a report design. This is what we have. We have to add the existing fields. Then we have to choose them from a table, show all tables. And this is my table. They said we put names. We are supposed to put names. We are supposed to put class and house. So we look for class. Then we also put, I'm double clicking, or you can drag appropriately, you can resize appropriately. Click here, becomes orange, you can drag it down, you can try to space, first click on it, make it have that orange color, then it is this cursor that moves it, this one. Then when you're done, you can close everything and save. Do you want to save? Yes. Let me leave it as report 1. Okay, so report 1, it will only have names, class and house, and how to browse through the rest of the students. There is keys down here. Okay, you scroll, this is a report, it will just print them. So we have names changing: Onen, Simba, Albert, Mumba, Belenga, Frank, Bukenya, and we can have that for this tutorial.
In case of anything, you can leave a comment. You can put a comment, you can comment, and I see how I can help. But for now, I beg to stop there.